Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic and the YouTube channel and the History of All Star Wrestling review series. And we are almost, I wouldn't say done with the series, but done in the sense of running out of content, at least available on the network here. Got about maybe a dozen or so more of these to do before we're all out. But in any event, this is the 10/24/81 edition of the program, unless they add to the archive eventually. We will run out quickly here. Jesse Ventura against Lee Wong. Of course, Ventura debuted, I believe it was the last week on the program here. And Jesse Ventura, not exactly going to be a all-star wrestler, but as far as talkers, probably one of the best commentators of all time, maybe behind Bobby Heenan, Lance Russell, Gordon Solie, whatever have you. But needless to say, we kind of get the very clear idea that Jesse Ventura is a guy who most people would want to continue to see. Also, the tag team championship match between the team of Saito and Martel, or Saito and Fuji against Martel and Garea, is here in the Championship Wrestling Series of things, and obviously that is a title change because they don't generally show non-title change matches in that reign. Fuji bumps around for for Rick Martel with lots of fire, body slams, hip tosses, and a couple of arm drags. Martel cleaning house early in the match. Worth going out of your way to see this if you've never seen it before, just because Rick Martel in the early 80s is even better than what he becomes in the late 80s as far as babyface fire. Of course, most people like Rick Martel from the AWA run, and that's there. But anyway, the body scissors by Tony Garea kind of gives an advantage to him, at least temporarily, that isn't always there. Martel comes back in for more deep arm drags. Baby faces are pretty well in control during the first, I would say, third to half of the match pretty aggressively. Fuji does come in, hit a couple of cheap shots on Garea. Garea does the majority of the selling. I think they still wanted to keep Martel somewhat protected in the sense that you could still have him do a babyface run if things with Garea didn't work out or things came to a head. Hard chops by Mr. Fuji. Fuji lays out Tony Garea in a pretty aggressive manner and ultimately manages to do what he can where he can. And again, Fuji gets the nerve hold that is known for various international stars doing and basic maneuvers here. And again, you kind of get that run of a little bit of aggression, and I wouldn't even necessarily say aggression. It's just there. It's consistent. It's and then a couple of hard punches along the way there. Um, the double team by the heels in the corner eventually does lead to Captain Lou Albano getting himself involved, and Albano eventually interjecting himself into the match, leading to the salt in the eyes of Rick Martel, who takes the loss, and we have new tag team champions. Obviously, we go to Jesse Ventura, I believe at the Garden. I'm pretty sure. And I don't know, but in maybe Championship Wrestling ring. But anyway, Lee Wong is the opponent for Jesse the Body. Punches and kicks. Excuse me. Basic moves for the body slam along the way, and an eventual bear hug leading to the victory for Jesse the Body. Not sure why they're not letting him talk yet, as that's the best part of Jesse, at least to me. But Classy Freddie Blassie and Jesse Ventura hug pretty happily afterwards, and also Blassie bringing the cane with him to kind of spice things up, for lack of a better term, and we move on to The Grand Wizard presenting Don the Rock Morocco. Morocco is here in this particular endeavor, and he is set to face off against enhancement talent of the moment, enhancement talent of the day. And in that particular occasion, or this particular occasion, happens to be that we have Don Morocco, the Intercontinental Champion, defeating Barry Hart, otherwise known as, I believe, the eventual. No, that's Jack Hart. I'm not sure about Barry Hart. I do know not a relation to Bret or the Canadian Hart family. Anyway, Wizard kind of whispering to Morocco, trying to keep him under control, but get him aggressive at the same time. And eventually the match breaks down pretty simply. Morocco managing a very punch kick basic style, hits the modified tombstone, and Morocco, certainly tired of being called a beach bum, as he is called every week, managing to want things to come to a head. Also doesn't really feel like there's enough competition for him and wants more competition, including but not limited to Bob Backlund and the World Championship. So that tease is there. Freddie Blassie out with his orangish foray into things here. And Adrian Adonis actually is managed to buy the fashion plate Freddie Blassie, which is weird because we're not necessarily known for that. Adonis coming in and pretty aggressive. Punch kick, big guy for the time period is Adonis. Adonis, though more athletic than ever before, does the modified almost like a divorce court and drops the leg on the arm. Adonis eventually also takes down his adversary and gets a modified sleeper while having him on the ground, almost what we would know as a modified rear naked choke these days is the way that it's applied. Then we go to tag team match, as it were, which happens to be in this particular case Tony Atlas and SD Jones versus Jose Estrada and Bill Dixon. 5:25. Atlas pins Dixon after Gorilla Press Slam. The idea that, in fact, Tony Atlas is back to using major power maneuvers, going to make the WWF very happy because Atlas is over in that vein. SD Jones coming back and forth, never really finding a full-time deal here in terms of a major push, but still always a quality guy which is needed from time to time. SD Jones hangs on to the arm of his opponent for the first couple of minutes. Tony Atlas taking a bit of a, couple of hunches and beatings from his adversary here. I'm going to grab my phone, so we'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail to finish this off and bring you more action. And again, Atlas and Jones are relatively pretty good ambassadors, for lack of a better term, of the tag team division at the time. And again, we move forward. Tony Atlas with the Gorilla Press Slam and leading to a victory there. We move into Hans Schroeder, I believe is his last name, Hans Schroeder, yes. Defeating Jeff Carney. Carney we've seen once before, nothing spectacular to write home about there. Schroeder, a big guy, almost the size of a Stan Hansen, looks nothing like him, big blonde hair. Bunch of power moves, punches, kicks, and body slams and the like. Schroeder getting a quick victory in under about 3 or 4 minutes. Nothing to write home about here, but in any event, we will be back with more right after this.